this person was getting hammered. Illegal aliens coming in, breaking in. He had reached out to sheriff, border patrol, you know, all kinds of different folks. And unfortunately, one day he came home and saw a bunch of people running out of the house, and he just kind of fired a shot and hit one of those guys in the head, killed the man. But you know, that's kind of a rare occurrence out here. But you know, he had been robbed multiple times. So what was going on here, folks? I remember, you know, right in this property here, Fox News and others were setting up right here because I'm going to show you the point where they were just walking across the river. These toilets and stuff here were set up for National Guard. There's videos on my Facebook page here where National Guard was all over the place here. And I was filming the illegal aliens walking up to National Guard being turned over to Border Patrol and taken out of here. And I came out here several times after the declarations of invasion by Abbott, and I was saying, folks, it's still happening. He left, I jokingly say, he left such gaping loopholes in those declarations of invasion that you could literally drive a busload of illegal aliens through there. And that's what's happening, bro. That's what's happening, man. So you see that those white rock?
Yeah.
That's what, at the top of it, there's like a little bare area on the left side. That's where the people would drive down. They would drive down in there, get unloaded, the cars would exit. And sometimes if it was the buses, they would park further over there because on the other side of there, you go to look at the satellite imagery, there's roadways, dirt roads, and they were just streaming across. You would see them crossing the river. I mean, and they would cross. They were pouring through this property and they were going along the edge of the fence. And they would come right here. National Guard would receive them right here. And then eventually they make the calls and buses or vans of DHS would pull up and take them away, process them to the NGO, and then bus them away and then wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. And we could actually walk right down to the river. Y'all want to walk over there. Definitely. So this one's clearly marked, but we always go around the side over here.
Right over here is public land.
Yeah, in a sense. Oh, so look, here's a credential.
Oh, yeah.
You want to get a picture of that? There's a cred right there. So that's relatively, I mean, I know I've been here several months ago.
Did they deliberately discard their ID
yes.
so that they can't be identified?
It's a new Quintero. This is Mexican.
It's Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
wait, no.
Because they want to claim that they're from
some other country.
Some other country.
But wait, is it Mexican or not? I don't have my. Oh, yep. Comisión Especial para los.
Another one.
Yeah, there's one right there. I'll keep that one. You all keep that one. Yeah. So this was a refugee commission issued by the government of Mexico.
Yeah. Is it? What country is that?
Let me see. Let me see real quick, bro.
Yeah.
What is this? Bolivian. Yeah, Bolivarana, okay. Bolivian.
Go into why people discard their identification.
Yeah, so they discard their ID because, you know, they want to start a new ID. They're going to give you probably a fake name, something they're going to go by, or maybe they obtain those creds under a fake name and they might end up using a real name over here because they're thinking, well, if I'm going to become a citizen, I want to use my real name. So it just depends, but that's part of why they discard it. I mean, because for us, our IDs, I mean, we secure those. I mean, that's something we just don't throw away, and there's places where you would just find them all over the place. So watch out with all this low-hanging stuff, guys. Sure. Yeah, so they would, so there's an interesting little aspect to this. So these signs used to not be here for the most part, and all of a sudden the signs went up because the illegal aliens were coming across this property. And so Abbott had this program under Operation Lone Star, this aspect of it, where landowners would sign off on the paperwork saying, yeah, if they enter my property, criminally trespass them, charge them.
Right.
But it's funny because, so they put up all these signs and everything, but I would see DPS troopers as soon as they saw people crossing, they would actually run down this trail and get them to cross over here. Because think about it, if they crossed that and DPS saw them, they would have to charge them. So they would actually say, come over here, because they don't charge them. They didn't criminally trespass. They turn them over to Border Patrol, man. It was terrible, dude. Terrible to see that. So
Now,
this is relatively new stuff here.
Okay.
It's been several months since I've been here, but I don't remember this clothes being here. It's a little bit more littered with clothing. Children's-sized shoes or female-sized shoes just all laying around.
This is probably just the wet stuff they took off.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Exactly. They discard it because it's soaking wet. And that's why it's, mainly more throwaway kind of clothes. And watch out with these bamboo things, man. I've seen them take people's eyes out.
Oh, boy.
Right here you can see, that river's flowing pretty fast. The river's actually kind of high.
It is, okay.
Yep. And what would take place in the past, guys, when I worked this area in the 90s per se, those hills are perfect vantage points. So back then it was more of a cat and mouse kind of game. And so their lookouts would be on top of the hills, and as we came around the corner in our patrol vehicles, no doubt they were signaling, or whatever their communication methods were, to let people know that there were there was law enforcement on this road here. Because I'll show you here as we go up to the top, any vehicle, high capacity vehicle, SUV, truck, can roll down this road, duck in. There's plenty of places where they can actually drive up to the river and load up people or drugs.
Wow.
And actually, there was an operation going on, criminal operation, that I became aware of, where there were weapons going south as drugs were coming north. And that's on this same road here. But you can see the river, and you can see where this little path deviates, because they'll have different crossing points. At this point right here is probably up to my neck.
Wow.
If you go to where that little stand of bamboo is, it's probably about knee high.
Okay.
And as you go across, it might be up,
chest
area.
So
but
most adults could wade across.
Most adults could wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You gotta account for the pressure of the water pushing against you and stuff. Right now they wouldn't cross unless it's in a boat craft. But normally the river is actually mid about the calf, so it's actually pretty shallow, and they could really wade across it. The deepest part of the river actually was right alongside this banks here, where it kind of carved out, gouged out the underlying sediment. So this was a crossing point. Look, this is relatively recent. I would say within the last month or so. So it's relatively recent. I don't understand ultimately what Abbott's plan is, but it has not been to secure our border under the authority and powers of a governor, bro.
This is completely open.
It's open, bro. They can cross at any moment. And there was a point here where there was National Guard stationed up here,
right,
but those were just to receive. They were not to repel. Yeah, these guys are gonna freak out on us down here. They're gonna freak out on us. And probably what's happening is we probably set up a bug. When you activate a bug, that's going to be the title on it. When you're out sightseeing and trigger federal government response. Yep. Eagle Pass became a showcase. The overseas containers, the rail cars, the barbed wire, the presents, the buoys, it's just optics, man. It's just optics. It was just his showcase. Look at what I'm doing. It's wide open. The entire border's wide open. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Would some cartel agents normally be waiting for people when they come across here?
No.
It's just the National Guard saying.
Yeah, National Guard and pre all this, before, these people are trying to avoid detection because we had consequences. So people crossing, man, they didn't waste any time here. They just got out here as fast as you could. This area has always lent itself for drugs and stuff like that because, I mean, it's right off the road. There's people that live on this road. There's neighborhoods all throughout here. And so they can blend in. They can blend in with normal traffic.
So the cartels would take the shipments of drugs from here.
They might have operatives, yeah. They might have, you know, their load, what we call the load drivers. You know, they receive the load being either human or drugs, and then they drive out of here. So yeah, it's conceivable here. I mean, we'll drive a little bit up the road, and you can see where there's places that you can drive right down in there.
Looking at all the bars and stuff on the windows.
Yeah, they really try to prevent. I mean, even trying to protect the air conditioner and stuff like that. But I mean, so that's the trade-off. This is scenic. It's beautiful, very peaceful when it's quiet. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can fish, you can boat. Some of the houses have little docks and stuff like that. But the trade-off is you're always being watched. And there have been situations where you drive away, and I responded to a situation one time where the young lady was home alone. Her parents had gone into town, and the sheriff put it out. And so, man, we blast our way over here, you know. And then one day I was driving up here recently, like last year or so, and there was a sheriff's deputy at a house. There had been reports of an assault that had taken place. They broke into a house, stole the other house they broke into. There was somebody in there that got into a fight where the person was injured, assaulted. So as I'm driving by, there was a sheriff, but then I was also actually on the phone with a friend because he lived right in the neighborhood. I was asking him about what had happened, and he says, "Frank, I gotta go. My daughter has somebody at her house." So I went over there. He raced by me. I raced behind him, and the deputy got in behind us there. We went to the house, and there was a guy that was being held. That was being held by somebody. So yeah, all kinds of stuff here. I mean, there's all kinds of stories. But let's go further up here. If you want to get footage, man, you're gonna get another chance at a chopper footage.
Coming to check us out?
Maybe. They're just kind of crisscrossing. They're probably curious. Yeah, we'd probably set off bugs on here, sensors. Yeah.
Coming right at us.
I've gotten into confrontations with these guys, man. For a while there, we had state undercover agents. They were probably DPS, the undercover component. One guy walks out. Heads up with these things. So this was in the early days. We were actually, I had a group of people here, and in that little house where you kept hearing the sheet metal moving with the wind.
Yeah.
They were in there observing. This was the early days when Biden came in office. And so he comes up and he's walking, and I'm filming the group, and I see him. So I turn the camera, and he walks up. He says, "Don't film me. Don't walk in front of a freaking camera." I mean, jeez, dude. I mean, yeah, go ahead. It's taxpayer paid.